And we're back at 7:36 a.m. And who is this on my telephone this morning?
Good morning, fellas.
Oh,
Good
that's
morning,
the Car Pro.
Jerry.
That's Jerry Reynolds.
It
How's it
is.
going?
How are my buddies?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little chilly in Dallas.
Well, yeah, we're in the 40s here, so it's not too
Same
bad.
here.
Oh.
Well,
Same here,
let's
but
talk cars, Jerry. Well, I got a question. Let me lead off with a question for you.
Sure. Go right ahead.
I saw a headline somewhere that said Ford is dumping all but two of their cars. Explain me that.
Well, I think it's all a plan of the new CEO of Ford Motor Company. His name is Hackett, and I think he just signed his termination papers, and he just doesn't know it yet. That's a really bad idea on their part, and I was involved with Ford for a lot of years. And I'll tell you now, when you start dumping nameplates like Taurus and Fusion, Focus is a little bit different. They needed a car to replace that car, but you can't ignore a whole segment, and that's what they're doing. They're putting all their eggs in the truck and SUV basket.
So are they trying to push everybody up to SUVs?
Yeah, they are, because they're more profitable. But the answer is not to cut the cars. The answer is to figure out a way to make people want them. I mean, sedan sales are down. We've been talking about that for a year. But there's still a lot of them out there, and there's still people who want them. And when you take those out of your playbook, you left a vacancy, and those people are going to find another car. That Taurus and Fusion buyer is going to go look at the brand new Camry and the brand new Accord. And once they find out that those are great cars, they won't be back to Ford.
So, Jerry, the other thing that I guess my question is, isn't this pretty bad timing as oil prices and gas prices are starting to shoot up?
It's horrible timing. And I tell you, I sat down one-on-one with Alan Mulally in 2010, and Alan was the CEO at Ford at that time, and he's the man that's credited with saving Ford. When Chrysler and General Motors went into bankruptcy, Alan Mulally saved the Ford Motor Company. They were headed that way, too. And that's less than 10 years ago. And he was scrambling to get smaller, fuel-efficient cars from Europe over to the United States because gas was $4 a gallon. It could do that again easily. Mm-hmm. And then what's Ford Motor Company going to do? This is a bad plan. It's a stupid plan. It's going to be the death of this guy. And by the way, this is exactly what he did with the last company that he was CEO of, which was a furniture company. He cost cut them to death and cost them a lot of market share. He's doing the same thing with Ford. I hope Bill Ford wakes up in time to get rid of this guy.
Yeah. Well, sorry to get you off topic, but what are you driving this week?
I was going to bring that one out. Trust me. I've got the new flagship Lexus this week. It is the LS 500, completely new vehicle. Of course, the big flagship LS 460 hadn't changed in a long, long time, so it was way overdue. But I got to tell you guys, this is one nice automobile. Lots of power, lots of options, of course, and equipment. It's pricey. But, it's a great, big luxury sedan. And if you need a lot of room or if you like a lot of room, in a typical Toyota style, Lexus gives you all these options with a huge engine, and yet it still gets good gas mileage. This car's doing 27 miles to the gallon out on the highway, and I would have never believed that looking at its size.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the car right now. I looked it up, and it shows that. Are you driving the all-wheel drive version?
Yes, all-wheel drive. And pretty much everything comes standard on it, all-wheel or two-wheel. If it were me with this car, no matter where I lived, I'd get the all-wheel drive version because this car's got Sport mode and Sport Plus mode. And it's so uncharacteristic of a Lexus. In Sport Plus mode, all of a sudden the exhaust comes alive. It sounds like, let me just say it doesn't sound like a Lexus. It sounds great. But really all-wheel drive, when you get a car like this, is as much about performance as it is about, inclement weather. And that's something that America's slowly figuring out. Okay, I don't really need all-wheel drive where I live, but it sure is nice to have. And when that power shifts between those wheels, you're getting maximum takeoff every time you want it. And it gets rid of that torque steer that used to drive people crazy with front-wheel drive cars, where when you jump on a front-wheel drive car, it either go left or it would go right, and that's all gone today. So it's quite a car if you've got $100,000 and you want to spend it on a luxury car that probably lasts you the rest of your life. This is a good choice.
So it looks very sporty, but it's hard to tell looking at it. How roomy is it?
Incredibly. The back seat is... It looks like a limo. I mean, it really does, and it's got some function. If someone wanted this car and wanted to have a driver, there are certain things in the back seat that the back seat passenger can control. The back seats recline. You can put up window shades that are electric all around you. Huge center console right there in the middle of the back seat, and you can stretch out and take a nap. I mean, I don't care if you're 6'5". You can stretch your legs out in the back seat. It's massive.
Wow. All right. Well, what's going on Car Pro USA right now?
Well, we've got a couple of new reviews up that we talked about last week. We got the review up on the 2019 Toyota Corolla hatchback, which a lot of people have waited on. Hatchbacks in the car segment are the hot ticket right now. And everybody's trying to come with a big with a new hatchback. Toyota got it. We've got the 2018 Tacoma review up. The BMW 740e plug-in hybrid that I had last week. I've got a review and video up on it. And Terry Box had the Honda Accord Touring. And if you know Terry or you followed him all the years he was with the Dallas Morning News, you know that a Honda Accord typically isn't his kind of car. I mean, he's a 65-year-old guy that drives muscle cars still, Mustang GTs and Shelbys, and he loved this new Honda Accord. And I could see why. What's not to love? It's a great car.
Yeah, so I'm looking online, and it's showing that this Toyota Corolla hatchback offers a standard transmission. That's not normal for nowadays, is it?
No, it's not. And I don't know how successful they'll be with that, but there's so few offered today that there's probably just enough people out there that want one to make it worth Toyota's while, and they may draw some customers from other brands that don't offer it.
Hey,
and I think that's probably what they're thinking.
I loved my Volkswagen Standard when I had one. It was an 01 Volkswagen Jetta. It was a Standard, and I just loved that thing, but it's been a while since I had it.
I get people asking me about manual transmission SUVs, in the compacts. And there's very few of those. I always steer them toward the Mazda CX-5, which is one of the few that you can actually get a 6-speed manual transmission in. Now, you're probably going to have to order it because the dealers don't stock them very much because they just sit.
Yeah.
Finding that right buyer, but you can order one, and a lot of people end up doing that.
All right. Well, Jerry, we've run out of time, but I want to remind everyone that you're on from 11 to 1 every Saturday. And also that if you want to check out...
Here on KFYO.
Right, on KFYO. And carprousa.com is where you can get all the information we just talked about.
And you can bet we'll be talking more about this Ford situation Saturday.
I bet so. All right, well, thank you very much, Jerry. You have a good day.